Hey everyone, what's going on? So, welcome to the channel. If you're coming over from the P5X channel, I appreciate you coming over to check this out. If you're new, this channel is just going to be, it's really just going to cover all gacha games that I'm going to be playing. So, obviously, you see this is a Duet Night Abyss live stream recap. So, I'll be covering Duet Night Abyss and all the other kind of big gacha games. Really, any gacha game that I plan on playing and I want to make some content on it will go on this channel. So if you're interested in that, feel free to stick around. Otherwise, no hard feelings. I appreciate you checking this one out. But I did want to kind of go over because I'm super excited for the Duet Night Abyss launch, which is tonight for me. And yeah, we're just going to do kind of like a brief overview going through the kind of global launch 1.0 live stream recap. And starting off, if you've been following this game at all, you will know that this is, well, it's kind of not really a gacha game anymore, at least not in terms of the characters and the weapons. And they confirmed in the stream here that in 1.0, we're going to have 19 playable characters over the course of 1.0. There will be 45 total weapons, melee and range combined. And then there will be a bunch of Geniemon, which seem to be kind of like support units. I'm sure you can like equip them and they all do kind of special things. I saw some effects that some of them have on Twitter, and some of them will like, you know, get extra coins during battles. Some will give you sanity, which is like SP in this game. And they do all kinds of cool stuff. And if they're collectible in any way, then I'm a sucker for them. I love collectibles and I'll spend probably way too much time trying to find these little things. So looking forward to that. And then, of course, like I said, all the units and weapons are free through gameplay. You'll be able to grind everything out in this game. Every playable character, every usable weapon, you will be able to grind out completely for free. They've totally removed the character and weapon gacha. The only gacha in this game is going to be cosmetic, and we'll kind of cover that when they get to that point in the live stream. But then we'll move into kind of our first premium unit, quote unquote. This is Psychie. She will be available at launch on the 28th. And like I said, she's kind of the first raid up unit, and I'll kind of get into like what that means, because if you're a normal gacha player and you're like, wait, there's no gacha, so how is she a rate up? I'm with you, but it'll make sense kind of when I get into it. There is a portion where they kind of discuss the methods to obtaining these units and weapons. She also comes with her signature weapon, which is Chrysalis's Daydream. It is a melee weapon, big scythe. Who doesn't love a big scythe? And then they kind of go over her kit a little bit. I'm not going to get too much into like the gameplay kits right now, because this game has been described to me as anime Warframe, and I've never played Warframe before. There's going to be a lot for me to kind of discover in terms of building units, how to play the game, so I don't want to give any advice on any of that stuff yet. Then moving into what is our second, rate up unit, I assume, will be Fina, and she will be dropping on the 25th of November, and she will come with her own signature weapon, which will be Dreamweaver's Feather. I love the character designs in this game. The art is really nice. It's kind of part of what drew me to the game. All right, now here's kind of like the big thing, I think, is how to obtain the characters and the weapons. So this right here is kind of like the basic grind structure for units and weapons. Obviously, this is more kind of targeted towards the characters as they specify it on the graphic here. But it seems like weapons will be kind of the same deal. Like it'll be like the same process, but maybe the names of whatever dungeons you're going to be grinding are different. So the rate up units, as far as I can tell, the immersive theater is the rate up dungeon. And what I mean by rate up is you'll be earning these secret letter clues, right? And those secret letter clues can be traded up into these character secret letters, which can then be traded up into character shards. And then once you have enough character shards, I believe it's 30, you will be able to kind of trade in those character shards to unlock the new character. The immersive theater is where the rate up is. So in the immersive theater, every 28 days, which is kind of when they'll be releasing units, this immersive theater will rotate, and the rate up, meaning like the frequency of getting specific character letters, the specific banner characters. So assuming I understand kind of their patch structure right now, Psyche will be the first unit in the immersive theater. So when you farm the immersive theater, you will have a rate up chance to get Psyche's character secret letters, which you can then trade into character shards, which can then unlock characters. And this will rotate. And then once Fina comes out, assuming that Fina's a limited unit, quote unquote, they will move Psyche out of immersive theater, and then Fina will go into immersive theater so that she's rated up. But don't worry, you don't lose your chance to get Psyche. Psyche will just go into kind of the standard sort of pool of units which you can get character secret letters from in looks like Nocturnal Echoes and Mystic Maze, as well as you can get the secret letter clues to convert into whatever character you're trying to farm from daily quests and daily commissions. So it looks like a really kind of fun grind structure. Like if you love grindy gameplay, like I think you're really going to enjoy like the satisfaction of like grinding all of these character secret letters out, the secret letter clues, trading up shards, and finally unlocking that character that you want. Although it does say at the bottom here, if you can see this, character direct purchase, if you don't feel like doing any of that, you can just buy the characters, which frankly I have no real problem with. Like I plan on grinding for it, but if you got the money and you don't really have the time, then, obviously this could be an option, especially if it's a character you love, you just want to play them on day one. That option's available to you. And then I believe this is going to be like the same general system for the weapons. Like you'll trade for like weapon medals, and then the medals can be used to trade into whichever weapons you want. And then it seems like in the dungeons you can kind of play with friends, you can play with random players to clear these dungeons, maybe kind of grind through them a little bit quicker. Or if you don't have, they mentioned, any friends when you go in alone, you get AI companions, I think, which will help you kind of auto clear this stuff. So more to be seen there, but I like kind of what they mentioned thus far. And then here is where we get into what the gacha is going to be in this game, the skins and maybe other cosmetics, but for sure, skins is what I can tell the banners are right now. So it looks like there's going to be 2 banners. There's going to be Starlight Rondo, which is the permanent skin gacha banner, and Truffle and Filbert, who you see on the right side of the screen here, this girl with her pig. And then Rebecca will also have skins in the Starlight Rondo, at least to start. I imagine that's more like the standard banner skin gacha. They'll probably add more to that as we go. Then Psyche will have a premium skin banner called Summer Dreams of Flutter, which will run presumably through her 28-day cycle up until Fina. And these aren't just kind of like skins. These skins seem pretty in-depth, incredibly detailed. They do change visual effects. It seems like they also give you a weapon skin. I may have misheard that, so don't quote me on that. And then you can also get points from pulling on the banner, which is kind of like in every gacha where you get like the currency, I assume. And then you can use those in the shop to get like poses and other cosmetics. Like, I don't know what kind of other cosmetics there are. I know I've seen kind of like headbands and little other things. I assume that's the kind of stuff you'll be able to buy in the shop. And then maybe my favorite part is the custom coloring, which seems like really in-depth. So it seems like you can kind of just pick whatever colors you want, and you can really customize this unit like however you please. Even like the visual effects you can change the colors of. So yeah, like let's say you really love this Psyche skin, but you say maybe you don't want it to be blue, you want it to be pink. You can make the costume pink, you can make the accessories pink, you can make all the VFX pink. It seems like you can kind of just customize it however you want, which I think is really awesome. And they almost have to do it like this, because if you're basing your entire monetization model off of skin gacha, the skins have to really be worth kind of going all in for. Otherwise, the game would just make no money. So I hope this works. I really do. I hope enough people are interested in the skin portion of the game that they do pull enough that the game can, you know, make enough money to continue service, obviously. It seems like they've put a ton of work into this, so I imagine they're fairly confident that this model is something sustainable for them. And then it looks like we're going to have some, like, Christmas skins at like really discounted rates. It looks like the Christmas skins are for the Fox Hunters, who are like the MCs, and also there's like a version you can buy where you can pick one skin for any other character, and it's like the Christmas skin. So I don't know how much that costs, but I think this Fox Hunter one is $1, if I understand what they were saying correctly. So super cheap if you want to spend the buck. You get a nice little Christmas outfit. Get in the holiday spirit. Something smaller, but if you're into like game soundtracks and music, it looks like all the tracks are going to be available, probably to stream somewhere. It doesn't say specifically, but I imagine these will be available to stream somewhere at some point, and the soundtrack sounds really good, so excited to have this. And there was a ton of pre-registration, so it looks like we're going to get a ton of pre-registration rewards. Everything on screen is what we're going to be getting. And then after you unlock Sanctuary, which will be at some point during the story, Sanctuary is kind of like your game hub, I think. You get free shards enough to unlock a number of units for free, and it seems like you're going to get a free Rebecca, which is this character on screen, a free Outsider, which is this character on screen, a free Margie, and a free Daphne. So they're going to be giving you 4 free units. I believe all you have to do is complete the story, and you'll get 30 shards for each of them, you know, at various points throughout that, I imagine. As you can see here, obviously all 3 of them available from the main story for free, and then they mentioned that Rebecca is also going to be available for free. And then on a side event, you will, looks like, if you do this Chop Chop Commissaries mission, you will be able to get a copy of Truffle and Filbert. And then also, if you clear enough of Mystic Maze, which is one of like the dungeon modes, I think it's like a roguelike sort of mode they mention, you'll get a copy of Lispel for free as well. So you're gonna have like a ton of characters. It looks like if you just play the main story through, you're gonna get a ton of characters. And then they got into kind of like a bunch of events that they're gonna be running kind of at the beginning of the launch of the game. This event, Hymn of Abundance, is free 10 hourglasses. Then you have Bon Voyage, which is like a kind of like a level up, and you do certain specific tasks like it says on the screen. You'll unlock like a bunch of free rewards kind of, you know, for your initial leveling bonus. This is not like super uncommon in gacha games. But you have a bunch more hourglasses, and then I think it's at 160 secret letter clues, which is awesome. Then you have a 7-day login task, Ode to Bloom, where you can earn another 10 hourglasses. And then when Fina joins the game, they'll be dropping a similar, you know, kind of login event, Message of the Nightingale, where where you can get another 10 hourglasses. And then it looks like there's going to be some limited events. I believe this one's called Friendly Games, and you kind of get these things called Luno points, and you can end up unlocking like a bunch of stuff. I think you get a bunch of secret letters and stuff. So then this is a limited event, I believe, for when Fina comes out. Rainbow Color Dreams, I think this one's called. And you do kind of like this like game with Fina where you kind of color stuff, it seems like, and you can get a bunch of rewards. And then on December 8th, it looks like we're going to get a little bit of a prelude kind of event to 1.1 called Stranger from Afar, where it looks like we're going to meet this character on screen here, who, as you can see in the little 1.1 teaser later, is going to be a part of the next story chapter. So that's exciting. Then here's kind of a nice wrap up of everything they're going to be giving away. And then if you haven't already, you can pre-download the game. The game's available for pre-download right now. I don't believe it's on Steam, but it is available on Epic. There's a Windows launcher, and then obviously on mobile devices you can download as well. And then if you want to go watch this, we got a really cool 1.1 like teaser trailer. And it looks like these 5 characters will be units that will likely be getting kind of, you know, into 1.1 and beyond as the story progresses. And so, yeah, there was a lot to cover. So hopefully I got through that fairly quickly for you. Again, I don't know exactly what kind of content for this game I'll be putting out, but I definitely plan on playing a lot of it. And hopefully that translates to, you know, a good amount of content on it. So I appreciate you checking this out. Super exciting. And then there's also 3 codes that you can use on release. And I will put those in the description, or probably I'll put them on screen right now, and I'll put them in the description so you can copy and paste them in. So hopefully I'll see you soon. Have fun playing at launch. Have a good one.